Hey guys, original YouTube intro here. Today I'm going to be telling you guys a story that I've actually recently told over at Twitch, but decided to tell it over here at YouTube, so let's begin. Alright, so back in middle school I had a clique of friends like, everybody else has nowadays. There was me, Jonathan, Alan, and Ochoga. So one sunny afternoon I was digging in my lunch bag during lunch, and I generously donated Alan my Capri Sun and bag of Cheetos. Okay, so before we go any further in the story, I want you guys to really sit and think about what Cheetos are. I know it sounds funny, but it's going to be really important. Okay, so now we're just chilling in the lunchroom eating our lunch. And about 5 minutes later, after I gave Alan half of my lunch, we just hear a girl screaming from the top of her lungs. And for privacy, we'll name this girl, this girl. Yeah, we're going to name her this girl. Girl gets up and comes to our table and just starts screaming at Alan. She's just all like, "You stole my Cheetos and Capri Sun! You stole it out my bag, give it back!" So here she is in the lunchroom making a huge scene and yelling at us. She even starts tearing up because Alan is just devouring the Capri Sun and Cheetos I gave to him right in front of our eyes, dude. So this little situation in the lunchroom causes such a big commotion that the vice principal walks in. Now let me tell you, the vice principal, he was a really cool guy, especially with our clique. He's let us off the hook dozens of times. So the vice principal takes her outside and proceeds to ask her just a bunch of questions. And basically she came to the conclusion that we stole her lunch, which came in a Walmart bag. So at this point I'm thinking, wow, we must be some pretty cool masterminds to pull off such a dangerous heist like this, right? So the vice principal looks at my lunch bag and it's a Target bag, which I thought would just end the argument right there. We didn't steal her lunch, we're innocent, but nope. So Alan, Jonathan, and I all got sent to the office. Ochoa, on the other hand, got to sit and eat his lunch because he didn't sit and argue with the girl like we did. So down in the office, the vice principal decides to call my grandma, and my grandma's a little bit more on the elderly side, so she's not really up to date with Capri Suns and Cheetos. She just puts it in my lunch because she's being a good grandma. Okay, so have you guys sat and thought about what Cheetos are? Good. This is where it comes into play. Okay, so the vice principal calls my grandma and asks her, "What exactly did you put in my lunch?" My grandma says, "A sandwich, juice, and corn chips." Okay, let me tell you guys, corn chips was the magic freaking word, dude. It just set everybody in the office off. So the vice principal hangs up the phone and looks over at me and my two friends. Now we're over here really ecstatic and happy. He says we stole the Cheetos because I apparently had corn chips in my lunch. Alright guys, so at this point it's not even about whether we stole her lunch or not. It's about whether or not Cheetos are considered corn chips. So I want you guys to tell me, do you think Cheetos are corn chips? Leave it down in the comments. So after about 5 minutes of arguing, we finally got a bag of Cheetos and we look on the back where it says ingredients. And the very first thing it says is enriched corn meal. Now I don't know if it was my middle school brain talking or not, but that told me right then on the spot that, well, it was corn chips. Sadly, the vice principal didn't believe that, so he told us that we had to pay for the Capri Sun and Cheetos that we ate. And let me tell you guys, the bag of Cheetos that we had was nothing but a small bag of Cheetos, so it was nothing but probably like 99 cents. So all in all, we had to pay her a whopping $1.50. So we come up with this genius plan. Jonathan brought a box to school about the size of an Xbox One controller, and me and Alan both bought basically a bunch of change, basically a bunch of pennies and nickels and dimes. So at the beginning of the day, me and Alan dump our change inside of Jonathan's box and we give it to her during recess. And she doesn't even take the money. Like, she wasted about 3 hours of all of our lives and she doesn't take the money. Like, do you know what you can do with $1.50? But that's the end of the story, guys. If you enjoyed it and or want more, make sure you hit the like button, maybe subscribe to the channel. Peace out.